It's just
pretty
a
well.
catchy, and which the
name.
two guys, one decanter. It is. It's like
That's the one my wife is lobbying for pretty hard.
And so far we've only had one decanter. So.
That's true. And it's been two guys. So, sounds like a party. But how are you doing this week?
Great. Yeah, all over the place this week, man. F1. Driving around the strip is not
I believe
fun.
that. The locals do not like when F1 comes to town.
The roads change every day too.
Yeah.
One day you can use this shortcut. Then the next day everybody knows about it, and then the next day that one's closed and the road is rerouted and it's one way. So it's getting in, especially the buildings that fall inside the track.
Yeah,
like it gets challenging. So other than that minor inconvenience, wine's been good this week.
I don't know if it's a minor inconvenience for you. I mean, it is for me because we just completely avoid the strip when F1 comes.
Right.
And I'm a huge F1 fan. Been an F1 fan for a really long time. But we just completely avoid the strip. And I haven't gone to the race either.
Yeah, if I could avoid it, I would. It would definitely like a lot of peace of mind and just save some.
Yeah.
I try and put on calming, it's just and plan extra time, right?
Yeah. And then also people around the holidays here in Vegas go absolutely nuts. Like I don't know what it is. As soon as November hits, people just start going nuts and start like driving like crazy and need to get everywhere in 5 seconds. And it's rough. Yeah.
Even in the rain yesterday, come to a roundabout that's got to yield and the car honks behind me because I'm yielding for the car in the roundabout. Okay, friend. And it's raining, guy.
Yeah.
Just take a moment.
Yeah. Because, it rains so often here. So people are so used to driving in the rain here.
Yeah. The extra speeds.
It doesn't rain very much in Vegas for anybody who's listening. For the two people who are listening.
Yeah, so far. Yourself? Good week?
Yeah, good week. Went to a Pizza Fest yesterday. So that was a lot of fun. It happens once a year here in Vegas. Very crowded, but I think it was like 25 or so, 25, maybe 30 pizza places from around the Vegas city.
That's pretty solid.
They have a booth there. Yeah, they even bring I think it was it 00 Pizza? It might have been 00 or Esther's. They all bring their own pizza ovens, but some of them bring like the wood-fired pizza ovens as well. So the ones that they stick on a little trailer and bring in. So it was great. You get a little slice of pizza, and my wife and I had all 30 of them or all 25 of them.
At least a bite or two.
So, at least a bite or two, and then a couple we went back to again because they were really good.
That's something that's changed a lot in Vegas. Like we're not just like the fast food pizza chains anymore.
Yeah.
Like we brought some 00, Good Pie, Evil Pie.
Evil was there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Other larger chain ones. Rebellion is a couple of like local guys out in the Henderson area that used to work for Pizza Rock.
Pizza Rock was also there.
Yeah. They just Metro Pizza, which it's a classic in Vegas. That's been around since I was a kid in this town. It's been here forever.
Honestly, that was one of our favorites.
Yeah,
like for a simple pizza, their like square, super fluffy one was really good.
Yep.
It was very pillowy. It was the flavors were there. The dough was really good. So that was one of our favorites. That one, Esther's. 00 is always a favorite. That place is great. Evil was pretty good. So but like I think Metro did stand out for us.
Yeah, that's cool, especially for that length of time. They're not the new thing on the block anymore, but they're so consistent and so good.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's fun.
What are we talking about this week?
The times are a changing, even in wine. Taste preferences, demographic, lifestyle choices, legalization of THC and who knows what next down the line, as well as GLP situations and changing people's desires and cravings, as well as losing weight. I mean, these are a lot.
Oh, that's an interesting one. Yeah. Because I do have a friend who started taking some of the weight loss stuff. and they were really into like heavy cabs, and they started taking it, and they're like, I can't drink them anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy.
And it's real. I mean, it's millions and millions of people that, whether or not they actually realize how much it's affecting them, but it's changing
Right.
as well as preferences. And
Right.
and we see styles swing within wine anyways, right? Like preferences for certain things, and then they dive off, and the importance of different reviewers from time to time and the influence that they have. So I don't know. We see some really, really cool trends in wine right now. And, I think one of the big shifts is what we had, I don't know, like seeking out new, right? Not just all the tried and true, and not like, your dad's cab, your mom's Chard. There's other things out there in the world these days.
Yeah. What is like your mom's Chard? What is that?
It kind of went. The U.S. really kind of wanted to replicate a lot of what was going on in other places, and they'll always kind of like refer to Burgundy and other places like that as far as iconic places that they want to replicate, right? And then, so they with good earnest, but also a totally different growing area. So you look at styles of Chardonnay that were coming up in like the 70s and the 80s, and how they started getting influenced more with new oak and bigger flavor. And reviewers at that time were kind of like opting for things that were more powerful and so a lot of people kind of fell into these styles and stuck with it, right? So very consistently a demographic or generation would pick the same bottle of wine and drink that over and over and over and over again, and other people would want to experiment and try and do other things within that, but driving some of that change, because it's one of those things, like it's my parents' drink. Like kids don't want to do what their parents did,
right?
So part of it is that, right? Like changing.
Describe your mom's Chardonnay.
For the record, for everybody out here, my mom's a teetotaler and doesn't drink. She hasn't, but that which affectionately referred to in the trade as Cougar Juice.
Juice. Is that an affectionate term?
It is. It is. Like it drives straight to a point that
I get a picture in my head of exactly
that we a lot of people potentially over oaked, and ones that have seen either acidification, like creating acid in it by an addition to lift it, because the malolactic fermentation, all technical terms we can talk about, but you go through this conversion to change a very harsh, like sharp acid to a more softer, buttery, what they refer to lactic, like lactose kind of thing. So, the intentional creation of these flavors in the wine at high level.
I heard somebody describe one of those as a butter sloth, and I thought that was a great descriptor.
just slow and goopy,
just slow and goopy and buttery, and like
right, like they do feel like they move at that pace, and not that younger people or other generations are faster or more active, but right, like something more zingy can be fun.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense. Okay. What, maybe like, how do you avoid those at the, maybe assuming that's something that you don't want, but like, how do you avoid those at the store?
Yeah. I mean, unless there's some real clear indicators on the label, like words, like when you flip it over and if they have descriptions, if butter is in there, that's probably going to be one to kind of like, you unless the producer or know who's making it for what reason, you might have to lean on some of those other things.
I see.
Other clues, because it's hard to tell.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I think like that's probably the thing. I would imagine, if I am going to a store, or if I'm going to buy something, that would keep me from buying a Chardonnay is not knowing what I'm going to get if I do something. And I've heard plenty of people, and I think it makes sense too, right? I don't like Chardonnays because they're too big and oaky and buttery, and it's just not, or it's, what I drank a while ago, or it's what I like, I don't know, it's just not something I want anymore. And I think like that will keep people completely away from that segment of wine.
Yeah.
Because and it makes sense if I'm going to spend money on a bottle of wine and I don't know, right? It's like, playing roulette every time you go and grab a bottle of wine. I feel like it's going to be hard to convince me or anyone else to go in and be like, okay, I'm going to just grab this and give it a try. Right.
Yeah. And I think, unfortunately, at this time, you still kind of have to like trust in, obviously, you're not going to have that kind of individual in a grocery store experience, but maybe in other retail experiences, there's someone there that you could potentially talk to and talk about like, you don't want that rich, heavy oaked, like stylistically. And some smarter shops are kind of even putting things in that fashion or lining them up together. Like these are this style over here, because it is unfortunately without specific knowledge of the producer or the winemaker.
Yeah. If you go to Total Wine, there will be someone every 5 seconds that pops up and it's like, hey, can I help you? Hey, can I? Which is great. Also, sometimes a little annoying because I just want to be left alone and like look at the wine. But like, this is constant. Hey, can I help you find something? Hey, can I help you find something?
Yeah, very much so. And good, bad, and indifferent too. And you also have to bear in mind that they have certain brands that are their priorities too. That's true, so it's like there are things that they will intentionally steer you towards, and not like to confound you or trick you or anything, but just ones that are more important for them at the moment.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, we were talking about this last time.
Yeah, right. Even a sommelier on the floor
at restaurants, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like I'm trying to move some actual product.
Yeah.
Actually, that reminds me. I was very proud of myself the other day because we went somewhere and we were tasting some champagne. Mm-hmm. And the I don't think he would call himself a somm, but like he was the person who was kind of administering the tasting, and he poured one of the 3 of them, and like I kind of smelled it and I tasted it and I was like, this doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I don't know. Like I couldn't really put my finger on it at first. I was like, it felt a little like syrupy almost. Mm-hmm. And then it felt like I've had some aged champagnes, and those aged champagnes, like they have a bit of, I don't know, they had like this bit of richness to it, but this one was I think it was like a 2020 or something, 2019, 2020.
Okay.
So like I wouldn't expect it to have any
developed
age.
that much.
Yeah, but
so
then it
quickly.
also like didn't taste proper.
Yeah.
So it was really hard to tell. It was really hard to put my finger on. I asked the guy there, I was like, hey, is this
what you expect out of this class?
What you expect. He had a hard time telling because he hadn't tasted it for, I don't know, like a week or two. And then I read the description of it, and maybe this is a good tip, like for people to do, is like taste the wine and read the description. And at least like most of the time I can pick out a couple like, okay, yeah, that.
I feel that. Yeah.
Yeah, I can get at least like it's vibrant or it's fruity or it's, I don't know, it's got like high acid or something like that. And this didn't have any of those things. And so I asked him to try it. He took it to the back room. They were trying. He's like, I'm going to open another one and just see. And poured another one completely different.
Yeah. Okay.
Like vibrant, bright, lots of acid, a lot more fruity, a lot like more bubbly. So yeah, I think our sessions have been doing me some good because I was able to find it.
Well, and there's a lot of things to that as well, because like that first one might have made you feel as like, I don't like this producer, I don't like this style. Had you not known that there might actually be something wrong or off or different with the wine, right? So then you would completely shy away from this person who could actually be making beautiful stuff. So to have it where it's got that kind of like muted and flat kind of appearance is it's tough to define and notice, especially against like a clear corked wine or clearly like cooked, oxidized style of wine.
Yeah.
But just realizing like I'm not getting as much enjoyment out of this.
Yeah. Like it wasn't vinegar that I was tasting.
Yeah.
Right. It wasn't like, I don't know. It wasn't just like, oh, this is not even wine anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a little off. So yeah, it was a good, I was proud of myself that I was able to taste it.
Yeah. That it was just like, it was more than just that initial, I don't like this, to like, maybe this isn't doing what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had came across an aggressively corked bottle this week that as I was throwing it away, I was like, oh crap, I should have kept it. I could have brought it over, because
that'd be a fun episode to do.
They really are good things and good examples to when you come across a clear one. Like, I mean, I literally had to put the glass as far away from me as possible because it was hurting my feelings.
Just making fun of you.
No, he just was like, yeah, try me. I'm like, no, I'm not going to fall for that. Yeah, just like when somebody hands you something, smell this. You're like, no, I need more backstory at this moment.
I do this all the time to my wife. I'm like, oh, this is terrible. Try it. She's like, no, why would I try this? You just said it was terrible. There's no way I'm trying that. It's like, yeah, but I want you to share my experience. It's like, I don't want that experience.
But maybe with a corked wine, sometimes you do. You're like, this is offensive.
Yeah.
Smell this.
There's, I think those little sniff bottles I don't know what to call it. The little bottles that Psalms use to,
and they have the fault kit.
Yeah,
right?
They have a fault kit that like smells like, I don't know, it was like wet dog and cardboard and like all these
rotten
things.
egg. Yeah, onion.
Yeah, it's like, also it's just funny to be like, I'm gonna pay for these things that smell like absolute garbage
and shove it in my face.
Just like shove them in my face and willingly sniff them multiple times.
Yeah. The smelling kits, that's another subject. We can delve into those.
Yeah, the smelling kits are fun. I've brought them to some like friends' places. And it's funny like what people will pick up and remember, and what people will be like, I know this smell. What is it? What is it? And it's like cinnamon. I'm like, of course it's cinnamon.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought, holidays or Christmas, but I couldn't place what it is.
Yeah.
That's all. I'll bring them and I'll test you and see how many you can get.
I much prefer to be the weirdo shoving like an apple in my face at the grocery store and smelling it, or taking a bell pepper and cutting it into 3 pieces and leaving 2 of them in the fridge for like a week or 2 weeks, and putting one in a bag, and then coming back and smell that. So you can,
You're like the guy, the father in that TV show Drops of God. Did you watch that?
I haven't.
He like forces his daughter.
Yeah.
He gets these little cups of like different like actual food and hay and all this sort of, and like forces her blindfold to smell it when she's like, I don't know, like 10 years old or something, because he owns a winery.
But there's something to it, like, smelling things in those different phases, ripe, overripe, underripe, kind of thing. I don't.
It was funny because like we were tasting these and I couldn't get, like, they had tasting these, smelling these, and they had a bunch of ones that smelled like wood, like different types of wood, right? Yeah. Cedar and pine and, all that sort of stuff. And I couldn't get any of them, but my wife immediately was like, oh, this is cedar. Oh, this is pine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is, and it makes sense. Her dad was a woodworker. So like she grew up around all of these scents and knew exactly what they were, because her dad was constantly like, doing woodworking stuff and would tell her, oh, this is maple, this is pine, this is whatever, right? And she just like grew up around that stuff.
Yeah. But also probably grew up around it being cut, being fresh,
totally.
being dried, being toasted.
Yeah.
So like also, once again, the different stages of the aroma within those characteristics too.
Crazy.
So
crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So what are then we've been talking about the different scents and types and stuff like that. I don't know if maybe they do. Those scent kits have buttery in there, but what are the scents that people who are getting introduced to wine today and people who are younger who are drinking? My understanding is there are fewer and fewer people drinking wine who are younger, but what are they gravitating towards more?
Right now, we're looking at crisp, bright white styles of wine. So these are going to be more citrus-driven in aroma, more tart green apple, pear, subtle flower, not a heavy impact of oak, if anything. But yeah, like crisp, bright white wines are
Nice.
Sauvignon Blanc as a variety has
huge right now.
Exactly, like Sancerre, is its own wonderful, and it's been amazing forever, right? Like it's been amazing for hundreds and hundreds of years. But other places in the world that are catching up to that kind of style and profile, and maybe leaning off some of the more like really fragrant Sauvignon Blancs that are just like jalapeno and hay in the glass and stuff like that.
Jalapeno and hay.
Yeah, like you can smell from here sometimes.
I've not had one of those.
And then even in note, it's on the list. Checkbox.
Great.
Jalapeno and hay. And then as well, we see there's the category of chillable reds to an extent, which not ice cold, not over ice, and still something that comes allowed to come up in temperature, but lighter bodied reds.
Got it.
Definitely more talked about categories in wine than some of the classics.
All right. Should we bring out the wine for today?
Yeah, it'd be great. This will be a fun one.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm a little scared once you said that, but also excited. It's going to be jalapeno and cut hay.
At least you're drinking well with me.
That's fair. Yeah. All right, let's go get it, and we'll be back in a second.
Yeah. Now we got some juice.
Now we have some juice, some fermented juice. All right, shall we? Let's again, and also like, don't be afraid to really grill me on this stuff so that I can actually learn it properly. I feel like you've been too nice so far. First, we look at it.
Well, yeah. When you jump to 7, though, like without understanding what 1 and 2 does.
True.
So it evolves.
You're you've. I can tell that you've been in the hospitality and like education space for a while, because you do it very graciously. You don't have to be as gracious with me.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll beat you up.
Don't be like,
what color is that? What color is this?
Don't be like Gordon Ramsay.
No, yeah.
You're a what is it? You're like a shit sandwich or something. The thing
could be the end of the show if I throw the decanter.
Perfect. This one's not red.
Correct.
Like the last two.
Correct.
I got one thing right. It seems to be pretty light, but also kind of like golden. I don't know if it's just like,
but it carries a color. It's not. Yeah. It's not like water thin.
No, it's not. It's got a little bit of. Yeah, it's got a bit of a richness to it, maybe.
Yeah, definitely going yellow, and depending on the lighting and where you're sitting and stuff like that, it's not quite golden, but definitely a good yellow exists in there.
Yeah, one thing I did not do with this setup is have a white background to look at the actual color. Yeah. But like maybe that's a good one to talk about too, because there are some places where the lighting is, I don't know, it's like purple or something, right? And you can't see what the actual line looks like at all.
Yeah, it makes you lean on other cues. But so we're not water thin in color, and we're also not coppery orangey in color. So we're kind of falling in between. So some of those watery thin varieties, a little bit more like Sauv Blanc, Riesling, usually don't, unless they're more rich styles, won't necessarily hold as much color.
Okay.
And we're not in that like orange coppery, so still looks youthful, right? Kind of carries the color all the way out to the rim. So we're not like, oh yeah, this isn't an old wine yet.
How would you tell if it was an old wine?
Right around the edge, the color is going to start getting thinner. The color will start to kind of draw away from it and turn more brown in white wines over time.
Okay.
Deeper hue.
Got it. Isn't there like a thing with like brown around the edges of red wine as it ages?
Yes. So if some grapes naturally have kind of like an orangey tinge around the rim, and then older wines will tend to leave a little bit more of like a brickish hue, and then kind of the center will start to kind of like drop in concentration.
Got it.
Over time.
I have no idea what this smells like.
It's nice and cold. I mean, it's right out of the fridge, so it's not too cold, I don't think. But as it sits here too, we'll get a little bit more out of it.
Yeah, I can't like place.
Okay, so fruit's not jumping out at you.
No,
Okay.
not like definitely. At least definitely not like tropical. I don't know. I would associate a white wine a little bit more with like some of the lighter fruits, but it doesn't give me like I don't know, pineapple or something.
Yeah, leads itself a little bit more kind of like minerally terroir-ish driven in this style.
Yeah, is there like I don't know, maybe it's just the candle that I had on earlier, but like I feel it's almost like perfumey a little bit.
There's some nice white flowers. Yeah.
All right, let's give it a try.
Maybe towards like honeysuckle.
Oh, interesting. It's sour is not the right word
because it's high acid.
Is that
like I don't know if the microphone fully picked it up, but like swallowing again, like my mouth is still watering.
Yeah,
after that first sip.
Does that present itself in a more like sour way, or like how does that
biting a lemon or a lime. Like it leaves that tingly sensation around the edge of your tongue and just creates salivation, and I'm still feeling the effect of the acidity in this wine.
Yeah, it's bright.
Partially from the varietal and partially from the youth.
Got it. What? I'm having a hard time with this one. I feel like I have a harder time picking out any sorts of flavors and things in whites versus reds. But I'm like, this one kind of like, you kind of drink it and it kind of like jolts you a little bit. I don't know if that like makes sense. It kind of like, I know it's bright. It's not effervescent, but it's, I don't know, it just kind of jolts you. I don't know how else to describe it.
That's what we were talking about. Some of these like older, or not older, but just different styles of wine where they forced those flavors a little bit more, where like the winemaker's hand was a little bit heavier on making sure that you smelt that oak and tasted that oak. You smelt that butter, you tasted that butter, right? Where there's more restraint, more drawn back here. And we want the grape and the variety to kind of express itself. And there is going to be a lot more subtlety, a lot more nuanced in white wines for sure. Because it's so much of your flavor compounds and aromas and stuff come from the skins of the grape.
Yeah.
But in white wine, unless you're intentionally making a skin contact style, you're pressing the juice away and letting the free run come off of it really, really quickly. So there's stuff that in the grape skin that is not going into the final product of the wine, or just a shorter period. So
I see.
Things don't necessarily come out as pronounced always.
Yeah. This one, like after a few sips, I definitely feel it in my gums.
Yeah. That's still going to be the acid, because when we're in white wines, we don't talk about tannins. This is not, even if they've sat in oak, it's not necessarily a structural component in white wine like it is in red wine.
Got it. That's good. It's very different.
It's a very happy wine for me.
Yeah. So like, is this something that, I'm assuming this is not your grandmother's or mother's Chard. It's not Cougar Juice, as you so eloquently put it.
No.
So is this something that people, younger generations, are gravitating towards?
I think so. The whole story behind it, I think, is all of it is thoughtful and appealing and interesting and new. The winery itself is only 13, 14 years old. I believe inaugural vintages were 9, 10, or 11, something around that time frame. Even though the owner and the winemaker has been doing wine for a long, long time.
Yeah.
But this as his side project, as his passion project, and something that continues to grow and change and develop, is something I think of interest and intrigue for newer generations of drinkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is cool. What, if you had to say what song, musician, actor, actress this wine would be, what do you think?
This is not going to be like in your face, but ultimately like very, very attractive. Maybe in that like, maybe I can try and think of a guy and a lady as well, but like Kate Beckinsale.
Okay.
Right? There's a certain amount of like class and sophistication, very attractive as well. Like, but not like bold and in your face and being like rambunctious, per se. This might be someone like a Ryan Gosling, can have that, be that playful, funny, make fun of yourself role, but can be very, very strong in a role and consistent as well. And once again, like, I mean, I don't think I could ever get a physique like that, but something to aspire to.
Fair enough. I was going to go in a very different direction. I was going to go like the big like rock hair bands, electric, like an Aerosmith sort of thing. A lot more loud and in your face, but like, yeah, because to me the first thing that stands out is the like, I don't know, this like energy of it.
You get that
right?
lifted acidity, energy,
exactly.
brightness,
yeah,
and stuff out of it. So
yeah,
indeed. I mean, musically, I do think that this would be a little bit more, fast paced for sure. You know,
yeah, it's good. It's good. So what? Maybe like what are the types of grapes? Because I'm not going to guess this. There's just zero chance that I guess what grape this is. You're probably going to be like, it's Chardonnay. We were just talking about these like butter bombs, man. It can be completely different.
I could have found one in this fashion, but it is not Chardonnay today.
Okay. So then what are the types of grapes that people typically, like younger generations, will go for that are more like this?
We start seeing things popping up, Greek varietal that's gaining notoriety, Assyrtiko.
I've heard of this before.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever had one unless that's what this
is.
is.
I'll grab one and bring one out as well. There are other Sauvignon Blancs, Chenin Blancs. There's some Sicilian varietals, Griot and Caricante. Really beautiful, minerally driven, high acid. In Spain, Albarino is a really, really fantastic grape for this. So many beautiful, as you've discovered, dry styles of Riesling that, this has got more body, a little bit more weight, but this is still kind of categorically in that high-ish acid, medium plus to high acid realm.
As it's warmed a little bit, it's mellowed ever so slightly.
Giving you a touch more.
Yeah. Aerosmith in their later years.
Yeah. Yeah. Not the not full high pitched.
Yeah, not full high pitched. They can't, they're still really good, but can't quite hit the high notes they used to.
But eminently enjoyable. I mean, see it food friendly. I see it, even just in between aperitif, just to lift your palate and get you ready and started for a meal.
Yeah.
Serious but open enough to drink.
Yeah.
Without like having to have this serious existential dilemma with it.
What do you think leads people to wines like this more, right? Because I've heard that there's, I don't know, the microbrew in beers have really like gotten super popular. I think they're probably waning in popularity a little bit now, but like,
Well, I mean, if Three Floyds,
there you go.
I don't know if
So like, this sort of stuff, what leads, what do you think has led to people wanting something that's more like this, brighter, fresher, still got a good amount of complexity to it. What do you think has really been driving that?
I mean, one of the energy, right? One of the first things that you dialed in on, right? Like, people are less sedentary. Some demographics, some individuals, that ability to like move and change and taste and try and like seek out and desire something different. And I think this wine plays into that energy of like, has a vibrancy, has a life to it, has, kind of like a, certain styles of wine kind of slow you down.
Yeah, people don't want to be butter sloths.
They know, that was the new one for me. Like Cougar Juice, but butter sloth is like a whole. Okay, yeah, I can see it.
That one I credit to Matthew Semanchik. I don't know how to say his last name.
Indeed.
Yeah, another great wine guy in the city here.
Smart guy, knows his stuff. So yeah, I experimentation in revival of regions, stretching beyond the norm. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world of wine right now, and this fits in that up and coming, interesting, delicious category.
Yeah, is it like? Do you think this sort of thing goes better with food, or do people want to do more pairings and things like that, or is this something that people just drink on their own? And I don't know. This feels like a nice pool wine as well.
I feel like that's one of our kind of like American dilemmas, right? A lot of or other wine drinking cultures, born around it, raised around it, was always on the table. Yep. American drinking culture is something that is still slowly kind of catching up to that idea that like wine is food, wine is culture, wine is history, wine's part of your daily experience. So I do love this on its own. I think it's absolutely delightful. I'd be happy to drink this on a even a cold and rainy day. Like I feel this is really, really delightful. But then again, I think there's a whole nother service to it to pair it well with something, a great kind of like thought. I keep thinking of a mortadella sandwich. I just something that's got that unctuous kind of like richness and a little bit of fattiness, and this beautiful acid like washing over to like kind of clean your palate afterwards. So
charcuterie boards.
Indeed, right? Like
people love charcuterie boards.
Yeah.
I mean, I as well love a charcuterie board.
Indeed. And there's so many options in that realm too these days. It used to be like very much so just like your dried Genoa salami, and now you can do so much more with it. So.
Have you seen some people like on TikTok, Instagram are making some insane like spreads? My wife got into it a little bit and also makes like an insane spread of charcuterie board. She had a wine glass and she was putting salami slices around the edge of the wine glass. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
She's like, just wait. Just wait. I was like, okay. She turned it upside down, like let it go, and it was a flower of salami. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. A flower of salami. Yeah. That's amazing. But then makes the wine glass really gross. But
yeah,
it was delicious, so I'm not complaining.
I don't know if you've come across Chardonnay in town.
No, what is this?
Delightful people, wonderful shop, but they do really well thought out and curated charcuterie platters.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's like an artisanal cheese shop and charcuterie shop.
I've never heard of this.
Where
is it?
It's off of Post and Valley View.
Post, is that like...
somewhat industrial area of town, because the owner owns a food distribution.
Got it.
So his main business is selling to restaurants and chefs and of high-end selections, really, really unique items. And then they opened a storefront where they make daily sandwiches. And you can also purchase charcuterie and cheeses and just really, really well curated stuff. But a dynamite local spot.
I was just saying that we need a really good like cheese shop here in town, and it sounds like there is one.
Yeah, they're after Valley Cheese and Wine, which closed a while ago and will never be the cheese selection that it was, Cured and Whey for sure.
Cured and Whey.
Yeah.
Whey is in like
WHEY, as in, so you got the cured meats and the whey for product for,
Amazing.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Oh, we just have been going to like Trader Joe's and Whole Foods, which also has some great cheese selections as well. But Cured and Whey. All right. Definitely go for it.
I think the fruits come out a little bit more now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's got a bit more of a, I don't know, like richness to it now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, textural.
Yeah, textural, like, I don't know, how do you describe it? It's not oily.
Correct. There are other grapes which will have that kind of like oily, but there's a weight to it. It's not thin.
Yeah.
So that's where I'd put it, where thin, light, watery, which doesn't necessarily mean bad, but this has a more fuller, weightier body, but also not up into the next level where you start getting oily and or viscous.
Yeah. I'm starting to go over to your description of Kate Beckinsale and who's the other person that you mentioned?
Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling. Yeah. You're winning me over to that side. It's almost like you do this for a living.
Right, because it's like, that first impression is that energy level and snap, and it's like it draws you in, but you realize it's actually like, just very well put together, really pretty and expressive, and it's a nice wine.
Huh. All right. What do you think are kind of the next? I don't know, the next big grapes for one, like maybe what do you think are the next big grapes for the younger generation, and two, how do we get people drinking more wine?
So a couple of things, right? Yeah. One, I believe I really have high hopes for a wine like this and this varietal. It's been around for a long time and people do know it, but they don't think they know it in the fashion they know Chardonnay and Sauvignon.
Yeah.
And I have really high hopes for Vermentino. I feel like there was
that sounds Italian. Is it Italian?
Depends on who you speak to. Because
if you speak to the Italians, they say yes.
Yes, right. Like everybody claims, but it largely its hometown is the island of Sardinia on the northern tip, and also in that like kind of French Riviera and Ligurian coast. So this is kind of like what we think of as like birthplace area for the grape.
Got it. Okay.
Because I felt like Viognier got out there and everybody had heard of Viognier and was like, oh, I like to drink Viognier and stuff like that. And I never really, I'm like, how did Viognier of all V grapes make it? And Vermentino has it.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I have high hopes for Vermentino and hopefully that continues to get out there. For me, simplistically put, I find it balances between Pinot Grigio and Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah.
Right. So,
yeah.
And I think price point becomes important because some of the such well regarded and vaulted and sought after bottles that are $300 retail cost.
That's not
right.
That's not an entry level price.
And drinking something under $10 gets the job done, but may not always be as favorable to the grape or the varietal, or really serves a functional purpose rather than an expression of the grape.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can find those wines in that price point and expression wise that define what it is and really share the grape.
So how do we get more younger generations drinking wine? Because I've heard stories of in like France, they're pulling up a bunch of vineyards, and then there was a story from California where somebody was like using their grape juice to just like water the ground or something because they had produced way too much and there's not enough demand. Not that, I don't know. This has happened over time, right? Like not just in wine, but also in film and in like cameras for photography and records and all this sort of stuff where new technology, different preferences come along, that sort of market starts to really go down. But I feel like a lot of times what comes out of that is the really, really good stuff, right? Like the ones that
survive,
have staying power. And then you get people who are, excuse me, who are really like passionate about that thing that then do these like passion projects of, whatever it is and make really, really good records or really good new film cameras, or I'm sure that's something that's similar will happen in wine, but
we just happen to be jumping in and diving in and doing these things in this reset phase of wine.
Yeah.
We hit levels, we hit prices, we hit numbers that have now kind of
way down.
Yeah, exactly. So the pulling up vines is not totally unnew or unheard of to decrease production. I hear a lot of just hanging fruit in California, where
hanging fruit is like it's not getting picked.
Precisely.
Got it.
There, you don't have anyone to sell it to.
Yeah.
You also have challenges with labor and actually collecting it off of it. So you just literally leave the fruit on there to turn into raisins and then eventually drop and fall off. And, maybe next year you'll have interest in those vines in those areas. And so, the bulk wine market is definitely receding. We've kind of seen the peak of cost of fruit in Napa Valley as well. Like for the first time ever, it didn't go up in price for a ton of fruit. So we're, watching a lot of this closely, and we're still going to be experiencing and seeing a lot of decline. We're going to continue to see really famous names still close shop, not just sell, but just close. Is happening. So yeah, it's a very reset phase. It's a tough market. It's challenging, but bringing people into it is just constantly like sharing it more, talking about it again more. Like this deserves a spot on the table, right? Yeah. And be it lifting the education a little bit and understanding, and just because unfortunately a lot of people's first experiences are like wine by a glass in a restaurant, which may have been open too long, may be at the wrong temperature, may be at a certain price point just because they need to make a margin on it. Yeah. So sometimes those first experiences with wine are not always great experiences.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. One place that does as you were talking about that, is kind of made me think about it. One place that does do very well with exactly, I feel like this type of wine is Ada's here in town. I'm still pissed off that they're moving, but hopefully, I'm all for them being exposed to more people and more people like, being discovering them. Also, like Kat's an amazing person who runs their wine program, and it feels like they have a lot of stuff that's just like this.
Yeah. I am not alone in the world of wine that am drawn to this wine, this producer, this style, this kind of thing, Yeah. And then just increasing that conviviality around it. Like, you've had this before and you've liked this, try this, and just, which is great. I do find that there's a lot of like, willingness, with individuals coming up that, I will try that. I am interested in that. I've heard of that. Even like yourself, like I've heard of that. I want to try that. I want to see that. You're not just out here like, 30 years ago, just chasing blue chip wines for investment purposes, maybe drink one or two of them, and throw them in your cellar and stuff,
Yeah. What's the guy's name? He has a YouTube channel. Man, he just created, I think it was like through Food and Wine or something on YouTube that he does. He's a somm. Anyway, he's like I don't know. I feel like he's a very good just ambassador for a different kind of generation of wine and a different like way to think about it and talk about it and feel.
Like Andre Mack?
Yeah, that's his name.
Okay.
Andre Mack.
Yeah. No, his approachability, his take, his approach to people and style and subject matter, putting his opinion on things, but then leaving it up to people as well. Yeah. Right. And talking about everything from boxed wine to, the full gambit. So yeah, like right. Like an engaging personality that drives interest and maybe makes someone seek something out.
Yeah.
It's great.
My introduction to like trying to discover new things and trying to like try something that's different than just what's at the restaurants and stuff. I think a lot of it came from him because his excitement and his like, his just like, just drink what you like and, drink something new, drink something fresh, try different things. It doesn't have to be pretentious. It doesn't have to be, the super expensive Burgundy or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just to try something that's fun and fresh. Like I think he made me think about things in a very different way.
Yeah.
And it was cool because it opened my eyes to a lot of different types of stuff too.
And I think even in restaurants, we felt that shift where like there are definite individuals that come in and they call the brand that they want.
Yeah.
So just get that bottle and serve it to them. No problem at all.
Mm-hmm.
Someone might mention one in reference and you're like, oh, at least you open up that conversation.
Right.
And other people that are just like totally open, like, you say, hey, would you want to try something new? And they just close the book and like, you go for it. So, we've seen all of those people, but it seems like those latter categories were definitely coming around to more and more and more. Just like this list is fun. It's huge. Yeah. What do you suggest?
Yeah. It's also why I bring up Ada's because they have one flight on their menu that's just let us choose and go for the ride. And I thought that was really fun. Right. It was stuff that I never would have chosen normally, but lots of different stuff, different things to try. So it was a lot of fun.
That's one of my favorite over the bar statements is, if it's a place where you're at and whatever, trusted people or whatever, but dealer's choice.
Yeah.
And especially knowing a lot of people and being in the industry and like, hey, Matt, what do you want to drink today? It's dealer's choice.
Yeah.
If you got something fun, exciting, or something you just open, put it in the glass in front of me. I'll drink it. Yeah. Even if I hate it, I'll probably finish it.
Yeah. Yeah. Dealer's choice is a good way to put it here in Vegas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can end up with all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So let's finish out with what actually is this?
Grape variety is Chenin Blanc.
I should have guessed because you had your Chenin Blanc hat on last time. I should have guessed
this is, but not like a super young individual trying to create a name and upcome. Mm-hmm. This is from a project called Sandlands, one of my personal favorite. Mm-hmm. Pretty small production. I think still well under 5,000 cases a year, and makes a handful of mixed varietals. But he intentionally works with individuals to seek out historic old vineyards. Chenin Blanc was planted largely through other less prestigious areas as a bulk wine enhancer.
Got it.
Because its flavor is somewhat neutral, is somewhat nuanced, but it is high acid. So you could take something that needed that kind of structure, but didn't want to affect the flavor much and just blend it into the grape and sell it as X, Y, or Z or white blend, which is a good use for it. But so a lot of these have been somewhat older vines. And as soon as you start turning the corner into more quality-minded production versus bulk wine. And it doesn't always have to be a hugely expensive endeavor, but just challenging some of the inputs that are put into the soil, adjusting the yields of the vines to not be as verdant and green and like, because a grapevine wants to just make as many berries as it can, right? Because it's a living organism and wants to replicate. So the more seeds, the better chance it has. So when you start intentionally working with wine in this fashion, and then also on the winemaking end, less inputs, less, influence from yourself, you let something really pretty shine through.
Yeah.
It makes a fun wine.
Yeah. That's super cool. I should have guessed Chenin Blanc.
I know, but it's a hard one to blind. even when you blind. I don't know if
they're all a hard one to blind for me.
But like some of those more important certification entities out there in the world, I don't know that this example of Chenin Blanc would be something that they would list
easily pick up
with typicity or as a super,
you and your fucking typicity.
Because other examples that they usually lean on are like Vouvray and stuff from the Loire Valley, because that's more or less the birthplace for Chenin Blanc. Right. But some of these newer examples here, South Africa makes some amazing Chenin Blancs.
Is that what this is, South Africa?
No. This is out of California. This is kind of in that like Lodi-ish area of the world in California.
What's the maker?
Sandlands is the name of the producer, because a good chunk of some of the vineyards out there have a layer of sand on the top, which is good for numerous growing reasons and disease resistance, and provides an interesting, unique kind of terroir compared to some other areas in California.
Huh. Cool.
Yeah.
In Lodi. Nice. Yeah, well, as always, appreciate it.
Yeah, no,
this has been really good. Chenin Blanc from Lodi. Sandlands.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't go and buy it all up. I still need it for my for my cellar or my collection. I love this wine.
Something tells me you have a good collection of this one.
Yeah.
Cool. Cheers.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Another beautiful
See you
day.
next time.